Thanks for joining us. I'm Carly with the Oracle Applications Users Group. Welcome to this preview of eBusiness Suite Release R12.2, Upgrade Workshop, the whole 9 yards. An OAUG Training Day workshop which will be delivered at Collaborate 15. Before we get started, I would like to go over a couple housekeeping items. You will be on mute throughout the presentation. You can type your questions into the question box in your control panel at any time. Once the presentation has concluded, I will read the questions back. We're recording this session, and it will be available online shortly. We encourage you to share it with your friends and colleagues you think may be interested. I'd like to give you a brief overview of Collaborate 15 before I turn it over to Mike. Collaborate 15 Technology and Applications Forum for the Oracle community is where Oracle Power users and IT decision makers find practical solutions for today and strategies for tomorrow. Created by and for users, Collaborate 15 provides a personalized experience alongside functional and technical insight from other experienced professionals. Collaborate 15 is jointly presented by IOUG, OAUG, and Quest. At Collaborate 15, we have a little something for everyone. We are offering 270 eBusiness Suite sessions, over 65 Hyperion sessions, over 65 Primavera sessions, and much more. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned professional, there's something here for you. We have developed 2 new learning formats. The Exploration Series has 2 different topics, EV tax and allocations and cross charges. These consecutive sessions will build upon the previous one to help you explore the topic. Power Hour features 6 different deep dive sessions. They're 90 minutes long and will include breakout groups led by expert moderators. Oracle will be joining us and will offer Meet the Expert sessions, Oracle Product Roadmap sessions, Oracle Proactive Support sessions, Oracle Demo Grounds and the Exhibitor Showcase, and the Oracle User Experience Usability Lab. There are over 20 Geo and 40 SIG meetings, a wellness program, which is called Go With The Flow, and is presented by ChainSys, Hyperion Connect reception, Women in Technology Q&A panel, and a Groovy 60s party. Don't forget your costumes. Collaborate is dedicated to putting you in contact with partners to help your organization discover new products and solutions to maximize its technology investments. We'll have over 200 exhibitors providing information, education, and demonstrations. Our keynote is Eric Wall. He's an artist, an entrepreneur, and author of the best-selling business book, Unthink. He will paint live on stage while leading us to break out of the routine thinking and tap back into the creativity we were all born with. Eric was named by the editors of Meetingsnet magazine as one of the top 10 speakers of 2014. Oracle will be having 2 different keynote sessions. The first is Survive or Thrive, How Will You Modernize Your Business, delivered by Mark Hurd, CEO of Oracle. And the other, Keeping Your Head in the Cloud, Leadership Edge in the Digital Transformation, will be delivered by Mark Sunday, Senior VP and CIO of Oracle. We're also happy to feature this session by Rimini Street. It's a lot of content to explore and get excited about. If you visit the link on the screen, you'll be able to peruse all the available sessions and start building your agenda. Even if you haven't registered yet, you can start getting your schedule organized and sharing it with your colleagues. I'd like to turn it over now to Mike Swing of TrueTech.
Well, thank you, Carly. And I'm here to give a preview of the eBusiness Suite 12.2 Upgrade Workshop. It's an all-day workshop. And the workshop that we're going to do is it's a part presentation and part demo. So the workshop that I've got, first of all, everybody in the workshop is going to get the blue book on the right, the little R12.2 Upgrade Essentials for Managers and Team Members, and it's got a lot of tips and tricks that we're going to cover in the workshop and extra stuff that I'm sure you can appreciate. But that's a bonus for anybody that attends the workshop. In the workshop, it's going to be primarily, the workshop demo is going to be from R12.1 to 12.2.4. But we're going to cover the steps to upgrade from 11i and from R12 to R12.2. So this is something that can apply to everybody, even if you're still on 11.5.10.2. Here's a diagram that just is a high-level diagram of the amount of time that it's going to take to do your upgrade. Assuming that you've already got your database upgraded, the downtime for R12 to R12.2.4 is a little bit more than 12.1.3, and we'll discuss that in the workshop. But this is just a diagram to help the discussion in the workshop, and there's a lot of things that we can get out of this diagram in terms of reducing downtime and increasing the performance of the upgrade. In the upgrade, it's a demo, so I'm going to do part presentation, and then we'll jump right into how to actually do this, and I will have 6 machines staged at different points along the way. And the first machine, we will start with 12.1.1, and we'll upgrade the database to 12.1.02. The second machine will install 12.2.0, and we'll run all the pre-installed patches, and I'll show you how to do that and how to find all the pre-installed patches. And then we will merge a couple of patches, and those are the AD and TXK RUP5 patches, and those are a prerequisite to begin the 12.2.0 upgrade. On the third machine, we'll start the 12.2.0 upgrade, and that's with patch 101.246.46. On the fourth machine, we'll continue the 12.2.0 upgrade, and I'll show you some of the issues that we run into and how to fix them. And then after that, on the same machine, we'll start the online enablement patch. And so I like to think of myself a little bit as the Julia Childs of upgrade instructors. So each machine will be staged at a certain point so that we can pick up after the previous machine is in a point where we can move on. So then on the fourth machine, after we enable the online enablement patch, then on the fifth machine we apply the 12.2.4 patch, which is listed there, and then on the sixth machine we review 12.2, and if we have time we'll apply the online help patch as well. Here's just an overview of the steps that we're going to take. Again, we've got at least 11.2.03, but in our case we're going to upgrade to 12.1.02. The second major step is to install the 12.2.0 software, and there's a whole bunch of work that you have to do to stage it and prepare that for the install. But after we do that install, then we'll apply the AD and TXK prerequisites and apply also the CUPs, and those are the consolidated upgrade patches, and we'll talk more about that during the workshop. The fourth step listed here is the actual upgrade to 12.2.0, and that is using that patch 101.246.46. To continue the upgrade to 12.2.4, we apply the online enablement patch. We apply the ADTXK RUP5 patches for 12.0, and then we apply the 12.2.4 patch in downtime mode. And we'll talk more about downtime mode and how that affects your downtime, and hopefully that will decrease the amount of time it takes during upgrade weekend. We'll talk about why you might want to choose 12.2 and the paths that you can use to get there. So for instance, from 12.0 and 12.04 and 12.06, there's a direct path to 12.2. There's also a direct path from 11.5.10.2 to 2. And in our case, there's a direct path from 12.1 to 12.2. What are the reasons to upgrade to 12.2? Well, online patching will enable your business to have continuous business operation. It modernizes your tech stack, and this will help in the transition eventually when we move to Fusion. It gives you a more modern user experience, and there's all sorts of new mobile apps capabilities built into 12.2. There's new features and functions that can help you reduce customizations and improve automation, and there's also a longer support life on 12.2. So if you were to upgrade to 12.1 right now, in this support timeline from Ann, you can see that your Premier and extended support go out quite a bit further than the 12.1 support. So support is usually a driving factor, although hypothetically it should be business functionality in the application that drives business users to want to upgrade. Quite frankly, most of the time businesses upgrade based on the support timeline. So we will cover in the workshop a whole list of functional enhancements at a high level. This is a list of ERP functional enhancements, and there are lots of functional enhancements in 12.2 that you should be excited about. However, there are also some obsolete products, and we'll cover those as well. For companies that are using student systems, student recruiting, student systems, those are obsolete and they may have an impact on your business. The other main product that is obsolete are all the intelligence products, but those are now replaced by OBIE that's embedded into Oracle application and starting in 12.1.2, I believe they started that, and it's continued into 12.2. So online patching for business continuity. This allows users to remain online while patches are applied. The user downtime is limited to a short cutover, and that way the maintenance window is always predictable. It's always 10 or 15 minutes. Critical business operations and revenue generating activities continued during the patching, which is this is the main feature of 12.2 is to allow the business to continue to operate. We will talk about the application tier evolution. The application tier has changed several times over the years, from Oracle's application server with IAS and then 10G to now the Fusion middleware 11G. And we'll talk about the differences in the architecture and how that may affect your business. We'll also talk a little bit about the database evolution. And the thing that's most important in the database evolution is with 11GR2, 11.203, the ATG group from eBusiness Suite requested a feature called edition-based redefinition, and that is the tool within inside of the database that allows online patching to occur by being able to manage separate editions. We will compare the 12.1 architecture to the 12.2 architecture and show you that basically the WebLogic has replaced the web containers, and but most of the other pieces are almost the same. We will also talk about the 12.2 configuration. In 12.1, almost, and previous versions, almost everything was managed through a context file. And now we manage some of those things through profile options and context files, but we also use the Fusion middleware control and the WebLogic server admin console to manage parts of our tech stack. We'll talk about online patching, what that means for your business. And in this example, it just shows that business users are able to use the run edition while the DBAs are patching the patch edition. And then when the patching is all done, there's a cutover stage where the patch edition now becomes the run edition. We'll talk about cross-edition triggers and how that works. And this is really the magic sauce and how online patching can work, because when you think about it, what has to happen is any changes of data in production have to be reflected into that patch edition, and that's a little bit tricky, and Oracle does this through cross-edition triggers. The other thing that's important is because of these cross-edition triggers, and there's another layer, a logical layer above the tables, everything needs to now refer to this logical layer. it's no longer we're no longer able to call tables directly, and that can significantly influence your customization. So I know from working on the projects that I've been on that if you have a lot of customizations, that this is probably the biggest amount of work, and there are some opportunities to understand and be able to take care of this in advance, because it's quite a bit of work. Also, because not all cross editions triggers have been written for all modules, and because some objects are non-additionable, like materialized views, not all functionality is available during online patching. So here's an example of order management and warehouse management where there are some restrictions on the functionality that can be performed during online patching. So while we say that there's continuous business operation, not everything is yet business capable because of the cross-edition triggers and some of these non-additive objects. However, Oracle gives you a tool, the Global Standards Compliance Checker, that can go through and help you find the issues with your custom code. And down at the bottom it gives two examples. One, Gen 35 says that the table must be owned by an EBS product schema and not apps. So there are things with their customizations that have to be fixed, and they can't be owned by apps anymore. And the second example there, Gen 41, says query/DML statements must access tables via the table synonym or additioning view. And again, I mentioned that there's a new logical layer that has to be enforced. So this is a major complication for most customizations. So since they have to be accessed through this logical layer, if you query or display table names, you may not get the results that you're looking for. So when an online patch is applied, ADOP will synchronize the contents of the file system. This happens during the prepare phase. Performing patching operations on the patch file system happens during the apply phase. And finally, well, there's a finalize phase, and then there's a cutover phase where we switch the file systems and the additions within the database. Note that there's a third file system, the non-addition file system, that stores files that are needed across all file systems, such as log files. Here's an example of online patching cycle, and we'd start off with the prepare phase, then the apply phase, the finalize phase, the cutover phase, and the cleanup phase. And in the class, when we're demoing these on the box, you will have a much better understanding of how this actually works and some of the complications that go into it. Now, since we have saved the business some time in terms of the cutover, so the cutover window is very small, in order to do this, it places a burden on the DBAs. And now the DBAs have a little bit more, maybe quite a bit more work to do in order to support this architecture. Just an example of the ADOP cycle that shows that you can abort from the prepare, apply, and finalize. And we'll go into this in detail. Hands-on demo. Well, I'll be doing the demo. You'll be watching, but it's a hands-on demo for me. And we'll explain things like abort. And this is a common misperception with a lot of beginning 12.2 DBAs that are patching. They'll do an abort and not be quite aware of what it does, but it drops the whole online patching cycle, and that can be a bit confusing. And we'll talk about how that works. There's also a downtime mode that can be used to help reduce the downtime during certain patches, and should only be used when Oracle recommends it. But again, this can be a downtime savings that can be used, and we'll go into that in detail during the demo. Here's an example of the pre-installed patches that are published by Oracle, and this is just one section out of that report from document 1448102.2. And in this case, it shows for supply chain management that it has a script there for MSD for an upgrade failure. It's got some performance patches for order management and so on. So you get a sense of what kind of patches are in these pre-install patches. And again, these pre-install patches are the patches that you lay down on top of the 12.2.0 install that we do before you start the Here's a partial list of some of those patches, and the ones in gold, highlighted in gold, are brand new patches that have just been released since the last time this document was updated. So if you're having problems, it's always a good idea to come back and check to make sure there aren't any new pre-install patches that need to be applied. Here's just an example of starting the 12.2 upgrade. There's about 120,000 jobs in this case, and that does vary by worker, and again, we'll discuss those details in the class. We'll go into quite a bit of detail on how to reduce the downtime, because that's everybody's big bugaboo, is that it takes them 2 weeks, and then they get it down to 1 week, but how are they going to get it down to 3 days? Well, that's something that we'll talk about, and you'll feel comfortable after having taken this workshop that you will be able to do your upgrade to 12.2 in 3 days.
Thanks, Mike. We do have a few questions from our friends on the line. The first is R12 1.3 or R12 2.4 better, and what are the differences? How will each upgrade affect my company? Okay.
So 12.1.3 has been around for quite a while now. It's very, very stable. A lot of the functional enhancements that have been added in 12.2 have been backported to 12.1.3. So if you're a low-risk kind of company and you have lots of customizations that you're not prepared to migrate to be compliant with the online patching architecture, then 12.1.3 might be a very, very good solution. However, a lot of my customers ask me, Mike, why would we want to upgrade to 12.1.3 when the support window is going to end in a year or so, and 12.2 will take our support out much further in the future? So the things that you have to consider are, do you want the most stable with some of the functionality, or do you need 12.2 with its new functionality and the ability to do online patching, primarily because your business does not have time for outages? Now, one thing you have to understand is that the 12.2.0 upgrade is not an online patch, and it's not until you get to 12.2.4 that you can really start utilizing that online patching functionality.
Thank you. The next question is, how will R12.2 affect my customizations?
Okay, we talked about this a little bit. R12.2 affects your customizations because they have changed the data model so that now there's a logical layer of abstraction, synonyms and views primarily, so that you can no longer access tables directly. Other functionality such as materialized views, if you're using materialized views, and Oracle does use materialized views in a lot of cases, and some of that functionality isn't available during online patching. But the way that this really turns out to help to affect your customization is that it's going to be a lot of work for your developers to get these compliant with online patching, and it will increase your overall project timeline, especially if you have a lot of customizations.
We do have one more, Mike. Does release 12.2 make the DBA's job easier?
Yes and no. It makes their job easier because when they have to apply a patch and it takes a long time, they can do that in the background while most users are doing their job. And the other thing too is that the business isn't, breathing down their neck saying, our business is down, we're losing $1 million a day, we have to have this patch applied and have to have it now. So it takes some pressure off of the DBAs. However, it also adds more work to the DBAs because the patching cycle is more complex, and there is just more work for the DBAs to do.
Okay, that wraps up our questions. I hope Mike has enticed you into joining us for Collaborate 15, and especially for signing up for his sessions. You can add that session to your registration information. In just a second, Mike's going to put a few links up on the screen that will direct you to our website. You will be able to find an official Collaborate hotel, and once you've done so, you're going to keep your hotel confirmation number. You're going to visit the registration site, and you can receive a $200 discount by including that code in your registration. Don't forget to select Mike's session as one of your ancillary events. If you are a group of 4 or more, you can receive a discount by contacting registration at oug.org, and they'll provide you with the code. And if you need help justifying your attendance, convincing your bosses or your money approvers that you need to go, we have compiled a packet just for you to help you out. Remember, OUG members always receive the best rates to top-notch education. Collaborate is coming up soon. It's quickly approaching, but the conversation has already started. You can visit us at any one of these social media platforms and hear what everyone is buzzing about, what they're looking forward to, what they need to learn, and how they're going to spend their time. Whether it's networking, education, meeting with Oracle executives, there's something here for everyone. Thank you so much to Mike Swing for providing this preview of his workshop, and thank you to our attendees. I hope you all have a great day.